Some legal practitioners last week Friday launched a new organization aimed at advocating for the rule of law, justice, and the professional growth of legal practitioners. Now, the newly established Law Society of Sierra Leone was officially launched at the new Brookfields Hotel in Freetown. However, the Sierra Leone Bar, the body that advocates for the interests of lawyers and deals with issues affecting the legal profession, are concerned of the new organization. So this morning, to discuss the Bar Association concerns, we have Alfred Kamanda, Public Relations Officer, Sierra Leone Bar Association. Good morning, Kamanda.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alfred.
Good morning.
You now have rivals, so to speak. However way you put it, it still comes back to there is a parallel association now that would be doing perhaps almost what the Sierra Leone Bar Association should be doing, and the history of that has come from your Kenema AGM and elections that went south. And that south has still not come back to where it's supposed to be. It's just going further. Now you have yourselves rivals.
Thank you very much. So, the Kenema incident is actually in court. We took Suri Sengemara, Warasai Kamal, and others to court, and there is an injunction to that effect. Now, in respect of the Lawyers Society, because the organization launch was the Lawyers Society and not the Law Society for Sierra Leone, because they actually filed a change of name, an application for a change of name at the Freetown City Council. Now the Freetown City Council responded with a letter to that change of name. That firstly, there is no evidence of any registration with them in respect of the said organization. Secondly, that the signatures of two staff members, the CA and one other person, were forged. Thirdly, there is no evidence of payment. There is no receipt to show evidence of payment in respect of the said registration. So this was communicated to them. They also sent in a reply that, oh, we did this and this and this, and we dealt with these people. However, we were not issued a receipt of payment, which is actually concerning, because as lawyers, if you've done payment, you should expect to receive a receipt from an institution of that nature, because in some way, that institution is generating revenue for government. The fact that a receipt was not issued to you is a ground for corruption. However, those are the concerns, and we were expecting that as a group of people who have actually projected themselves to be men of integrity, men who are very decent, men who are very honest, who go in for the best of things, we were expecting that at least now that the FCC has stated that they've instituted an internal investigation, they should have helped the FCC with the said process, wait on the outcome before launching whatever they wanted to launch. However, they went on and launched an organization, according to them. And firstly, they told us it's a local NGO. And with the letter, we came to know it's a community-based organization, because you register community-based organizations with the Freetown City Council. So with a community-based organization, basically you only operate within the municipality of Freetown and not outside the Freetown municipality, because it's a community-based. But we are not very clear as to what they actually have at the moment, because Freetown City Council is equally saying, no, we don't even have evidence of any form of registration with you. Now, after the Kenema saga...
That sounds very out of touch, especially that those people are also lawyers. You would expect that they should know way better than to go through this procedure and to now have, as you say, the City Council saying there's no official legal registration in the first place.
Yes. It's so concerning, it's so telling, And as a result of that, the Bar Association was concerned. We authored a letter to the titular head of the bar.
Are you concerned about the legality of their registration, or about the fact that you now have another association or organization parallel to yours that probably would be putting you on your toes with perhaps a competition?
We are concerned about both. And particularly so, we always wanted a united bar. Even after the Kenema incidents, we've made moves to ensure that we have a united bar, because there is only one Sierra Leone Bar Association, and that is the association recognized by the 1991 Constitution, by the Legal Practitioners Act, and other legislations. So we truly want our colleagues to be part of this one single body, and then we push the interest of the organization. However, it seems they are still very, very bitter, because we've done everything humanly possible, including making use of the court system, because the court system is where every other lawyer go to almost every other day to practice their profession. So we took the matter to courts. They filed a preliminary objection on jurisdictional grounds. The judgments went in our favor. They've also gone to the Court of Appeal, and we just saw an organization. And with this organization, we are concerned, because at first it was like, this is a complementary body to the Sierra Leone Bar Association. We are actually coming to complement what the Bar Association, maybe areas they have in challenges, will come in and then see how we can help. But yesterday we had, it's an alternative body to the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And you still have the members saying this is an alternative body, but you want to be part of Black Leo and RFM at the same time. You know it's not possible. You have to choose one. If you say this is a rival group,
but why
this is
would
an
they
alternative
have to choose
group.
one? Why would they have to be put in a position to choose one?
Well, basically, it's just normal that I cannot be part of RFM, for example, and then be part
It's
of
not the
Black
same
Leo.
context.
It's the same context if you're talking about rivalry.
Commander,
Yes,
the other
sir.
day I hosted Mara in the studios,
Okay.
and most of what he said are totally averse to your submissions this morning.
Okay, what did he
should,
say?
Who then should we believe in terms of even the registration process, its formation, and what have you?
What did he say about the formation?
You mentioned earlier on that it's a community-based organization, and according to him, it's totally different from what you've just said.
So according to him, it's
not community-based organization. It's
It's
way
a
bigger.
local-
It's way bigger than same.
a local non-governmental
It's way
organization.
bigger. It's way bigger than same.
No, but we have to be very clear. Like every other institution, you must be under a particular umbrella. If we have to describe you as an organization, you can either be a company limited by guarantee, a shareholding company, you can be a community-based organization, it can be a civil society.
But again, upon the
organization.
formation of even the Sierra Leone Bar Association, it took time for it to be a company. That was not the case during the formation of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. Nah.
The Sierra Leone Bar Association, as you've stated, yes, was established a long time ago,
Sure.
and then we had reformations in Sierra Leone, wherein we had
definitely.
yeah, and then you had some few people who came together and then registered it. Of course, it's the oldest bar in sub-Saharan Africa, accepted. But I am saying, if you have to operate, because for me, when you register with Freetown City Council, I'm saying Freetown City Council registers community-based organizations and not NGOs. So with the NGO process, you know, basically you have to either have a constitution, a memorandum and articles of association. You need to be, to go through the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development to fulfill certain criteria. then maybe you need to register with Slango if you want to. So it's a process on its own. And we are still not very clear on what this organization is about. So basically they have to come out and then tell us exactly. But what is very clear...
Do they owe you an explanation?
Well,
as in you, the Sierra Leone Bar Association, do they owe you an explanation?
They owe the public an explanation, and we are part of that public. We want to clearly know and understand what this organization is about. Because, and for us as lawyers, so Isengbe Mara will still tell you he's a member of the Sierra Leone Bar Association.
Yes, he confirmed the other day he's
Yes.
a member. He's still a member.
The others will still tell you they are members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. So we are concerned. What is this organization? Is it like an alternative to the Sierra Leone Bar Association? Is it a rival group? Is it a group that will complement the activities of the Sierra Leone Bar Association?
By the scope of the just launched body, it
Yes.
seems they have more powers than that of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. The fact is that they have members who are also not within Sierra Leone, but they'll be incorporated into the fold, and they have a very wide coverage from according to what we saw on their scope.
So
Commander.
let's assume they have a very wide coverage, because that's an assumption. That's why I'm still telling you, what did they register? Is it a community-based organization? But let's assume they have a wide coverage. The best coverage we need as an association is to be covered and protected by the Constitution of Sierra Leone, the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. It recognizes the Sierra Leone Bar Association. You go to certain boards, you have the Sierra Leone Bar Association sending in representatives. We go to the disciplinary committee, the GLC, that actually regulates the conduct and affairs of lawyers. On the disciplinary committee, you have at least 3 representatives from the Sierra Leone Bar Association. So we actually, what I would tell any other person is that establishing an organization and being part of it is a constitutional right. We respect them for choosing that path. Our only confusion will be, we want to know exactly, are you complementing the Sierra Leone Bar Association since you are members of the bar? Is this an alternative? Are you still, let's assume it's an alternative. Do you still want to be part of the Lawyers Society and the Sierra Leone Bar Association? Do you think there is a need for us to come together and then work as a team?
But how significant is this blow to the reputation of the legal profession in Sierra Leone?
Well,
because the hula baloo just keeps, it's just like a wildfire in the Harmattan as we speak.
Well,
Things are
the issue
getting
of
haywire.
the establishment of this organization, I don't think it's a blow at all. It's not a blow. Maybe the other issues before the establishment could be an issue around what do we need to do as an association. Just like any other organization or association will actually have its own challenges. It's not always smooth. Even in Sierra Leone, we had issues like that. One person was not happy with the outcome of a certain election. They took their own steps to see how they can address it. And at the end of the day, there is the bigger picture we all think about. It's Sierra Leone. So it's the same for us lawyers. You don't, just because you are too angry, you are too aggrieved, does not mean you have to rock the boat. You have to see where you guys can come together and work as a team. Like, this is an opportunity. I actually see so much opportunity. Maybe it's because of my other extra training outside the classroom.
Or maybe because it's the incidents that occurred in Kenema panned out in your favor?
No, the opportunity I'm talking about, I actually mentioned the other day when I was on studio that the elections itself in Kenema and the outcome opened our eyes.
To what?
To many things.
Like?
Including what we need to do. It's opened our eyes to know that this document is no longer sufficient to handle our challenges.
Is it an election you are proud of?
Well, I will not tell you a yes or a no because, like I told you, there were challenges with the election itself. There were so many challenges.
Which signifies a no. Which signifies a no.
Well, possibly a no. But at the end of the day, what I would tell you is that even with those challenges, we should still think about the bigger picture. And this is just for 2 years. The executive elected is for 2 years. And let's assume you're actually not happy with the outcome. There are ways to go about so that you get remedies. And for me, even after we won the elections, when we had the EGM, members overwhelmingly suggested that there is need for a reform of the memorandum and articles of association. Like, for example, the memorandum says you just need a certain number of people to be present for a quorum. Let's say 6 or 3. For an association that has more than 1,000 members now, that's not a fair number. You say, for example, you just need a senior member of the bar, a senior member, to actually conduct the elections. How is that possible? We all know, maybe it's, if it's 5 people in the hall, then maybe 1 person can conduct an election. But you cannot have 1 person conduct an election, for example, for Prince of Wales Old Boys Association or the OBA, or I don't know what's what's your association's name, ma?
Commander, would keep going round in circles as to the explanations of what was done in Kenema and what could have been done differently. Ultimately, it brings us to the position, as an executive, you yourself alluded that things didn't go exactly as perhaps was expected and things could have been done better. What has the association now, the Sierra Leone Bar Association executive, done since Kenema to fix some of the things, or perhaps, if you put it, mistakes that occurred there?
So I am being very careful with the Kenema issue. I'm playing around it because,
that's
like
the
I told
genesis
you,
of the situation.
Yes,
you're currently in.
I know, and I clearly understand why I'm being very careful with the Kenema issue. It's the fact that the matter is in courts and there's an injunction in that regard. However, like I told you, with the Kenema issue, we've learned our lessons. And this is exactly what we wanted the other people to equally know.
Injunction or not, before you got that injunction, you had been in office for a couple of months as well. You alluded that things didn't go exactly as per the standards of the Bar Association. So it brings me back to, as an executive, what did you do? What have you done? Or what are you intending to do to fix the situation?
Like I told you, we've done so much. Firstly, when we came back, we saw the need to actually address the public on the issues so that we clearly explain our own side of the story. And I think we did that perfectly well. And then we saw the need for us to come together and then work as a team. We actually extended an olive branch to the aggrieved parties. And as part of that efforts, we actually visited the acting Chief Justice, who told us, yes, I also understand that there is need for you people to actually sit around the table and discuss this out and then see how you can move ahead. He explained to us the challenges they had too when they were running the association, because at the time he was Secretary General. He said there were always challenges and there will continue to be challenges. But what will make the difference is how...
But challenges lead to perhaps new policies, new methods of doing things, because you can't be doing the same thing expecting a different result. That,
of course.
That is equivalent to stupidity.
Of course. So it's out of those challenges, the association has grown over the years. And now with this challenge, that's why I said we should also see it as an opportunity. When we had the EGM, we discussed about the M&A, that there was need for us to come back to the table, appoint key people to come together, and then look at the M&A again so that we can actually review this M&A to reflect modern realities.
Was it difficult for the elections to have been rendered null and void?
Of course, it takes just the court to do that, not us. We don't even have that power. It's like telling a government that has been elected to say, go declare your own results null and void. No. If you are aggrieved and you think you're not satisfied with the process, you go to court, you challenge the process, and if the court agrees with you, they will declare the elections null and void and then call for a rerun of those elections. But we cannot go and say, no, these elections, we have to actually declare them null and void and then go back to the polls.
Commander, aside from welfare issue and that of consolidating the membership of the Silent Bar Association, I think upholding of the rule of law and that of justice is also very integral in the operations or the roles of the Silent Bar Association.
Yeah.
And these are things that Mara and the new group hopes to build on, because from according to them, it seems nothing has been recorded for almost over 3 years in regards to same. And it's like the association has lagged behind largely in terms of its responsibilities, holding government and whosoever to book in regards to the aforesaid.
So let's assume Mara is correct. Let's assume he's correct. Is he also part of the problem? It's a yes. Mara just told you he's a member of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And this Mara, I think he's up to, I don't know whether he's now 15 years at the bar or so, or 14 years, something around that. You've been around. What have you done to effect the change that you want to see? That's very key.
So, Commander, that takes your question right back to campaign period for the presidency of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, where he came to our studios, Augustine Soliseng-Bimara, and he was highlighting some of those things, including how now, for elections in Sierra Leone, people enjoy free movement of their vehicles, which was not so before, because the IG had imposed sort of like an unlawful curfew on people.
Curfew on
so because he
movements.
took it to court, now people have an opportunity to move freely with their vehicles on elections day, except Parliament would have to change that. He highlighted some of the things, and he said some of those dormant, perhaps, or inactions of the Bar Association are what led him to vie for the presidency of the Bar Association.
So my issue is, I don't have any problems with that. What I'm saying, the people who run the affairs of a nation, of an institution, actually come out from the membership. Augustine Soliseng-Bimara and others have over the years voted in people year in and year out. And the membership are the first set of people to hold the association accountable. If you cannot hold your own association accountable, when it fails, it's a failure not just for the association, but every other member. If you can single-handedly, as he said, take on the Inspector General of Police and succeed, it tells you if you actually rally around the association, you push them, you can all achieve greater things. It doesn't mean you have to be at the top for you to effect these changes at the association. No way. If you have all these beautiful ideas and you don't assist me when I'm in office, do you expect when you are there other people to provide you the assistance you need? You cannot do it alone. That's true.
What sort of a hold has external political parties or parties' interference had on the Silent Bar Association?
Well, that's a very serious question and a critical one, and I'll tell you, political parties generally will always want to control very strong voices, whether it's an individual voice or a very powerful group. They will always try to control that particular group. So it's always fighting to have control over the group. So now it all depends on the membership and the leadership to prevent that from happening. So over the years, we've seen government after government how the Sierra Leone Bar Association has either performed or failed to perform certain functions. And it will clearly have to do with the membership and the leadership at a given time, because the association is a company limited by guarantee. If you see that your association, your leaders are not performing as you want them to perform, you have procedures to follow to actually tell them to perform certain things. For example, when Sam Sumana was sacked as Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the membership actually reached out to the leadership that we want an EGM for us to take a position on this issue, for us to move a motion on this issue. Now, when they came to move that particular motion, a number of the lawyers were actually arrested, and the meeting never happened. And you give credit to Augustine Sorisengbe Mara, because by then I was not a lawyer, but himself, Francis Ben Kelfala, and others held onto placards, even though the meeting did not hold, and to show their dissatisfaction. But that's not enough. At that material time, maybe if the executive had not performed its role, other members will have taken up, will have actually filled in that vacuum to act. So political parties, yes, will always want to influence the association or any other group, any other powerful group, because they want control. But it all depends on the leadership and the membership at a given time.
Are you worried about the integrity of the body itself? And do you think there is need for resolve at this particular moment?
There is always need for resolve. There is always need for improvement, and that's exactly what I'm calling for. That's what I have been calling for.
Is it not too late?
Well, it's never too late, especially when it has to do with calling members to work as a team, and then we all see this as we don't just concentrate on the problem, but we also look at the opportunities available. Now we are really, really mad. We are really, really frustrated. We now know that our documents cannot properly serve us. What do? Do we go and form another association? Now, based on listening to Julian Cole, for example, yesterday, he stated that the new association established clearly provides that you cannot be a member of a political party and then serve in its executive.
It sounds like their association is solving some of the problems in the Sierra Leone Bar Association.
So even before the association was born, it's committed. It's actually faulted. Like Wara Seri Kamal made it very clear that she's a member of a political party, the APC. And the interim body, she's the deputy to Augustine Sorisengbe.
Have you evidences to same?
Of her membership?
Yes.
Of course, she said that on air, 98.1. That was very clear. And even Mara, right through his campaign, will tell you, Tuma is too green, Wara is too red to lead the Bar Association. So they know this. It's a fact. So the challenges have just started. Maybe some other person will now pick it up and say, oh, we had this in our books. It says this person should not hold a certain position. Why are you having this person in? So it's really something we can all sit and then think about, because there will always be challenges. Even now that they've established their own organization, within the next 1, 2, 3 years, they must face challenges.
It's an organization for lawyers, and I don't think it's their own. An organization for yourself. Will you be pleased to get yourself a membership in that organization?
I don't think there is any need to join the organization as of now. I don't think. Maybe there's a possibility, but for now, I think I'm fine with the Sierra Leone Bar Association. Its membership is very strong, and we have institutional mechanisms in place which are far more stronger, far much greater. It's only the membership that now needs to actually know. We need to know our place in society, how powerful we are, how strong we are, and then make use of it. But it's not about establishing another organization. They will have their own challenges soon.
With all the powers and confidence you have that the Sierra Leone Bar Association still commands its respect, authority, and position in society, why then are you so concerned about the Lawyers' Society?
We are so concerned because we don't want fragmentation. I will tell you, if you guys are united, you can clearly articulate the issues very well in the best interest of the country and the membership.
But if their existence does not affect your own existence, why then both cannot come together, coexist, and work together when they have to? Why must it be just one?
So if they are here to complement the work of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, why not?
Are you also worried that they're sort of going to outshine the Sierra Leone Bar Association?
Well, it's a very difficult thing to actually outshine an institution as strong and powerful as the Sierra Leone Bar Association, no matter how strong and powerful the individuals are. Because, like I told you, the most powerful document we have in Sierra Leone is the Constitution. The Constitution recognizes the Sierra Leone Bar Association, and that's why Augustine Sori Mara will still tell you he's a member of the bar, even though he has chosen to actually establish his own organization. Don't forget, he's one of the co-founders. The two of them actually are co-founders.
But the organization is not owned by them, it's owned by lawyers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Commander, there's a current situation in the country of the former Auditor General, Lara Taylor-Pierce, and her deputy, Tamba Momo. So far, about 6 organizations have come together on a united front to condemn the, discuss concerns of the tribunal and calling on Parliament to either dismiss it or ensure that they do not approve its recommendations. What is the position of the Sierra Leone Bar Association as it relates to former Auditor General and her deputy, especially when there has been a release last weekend by the body that regulates accountants, issuing their own statements to say from their own professional investigations, both individuals have been found cleared, no wrongdoing, no professional misconduct. What's Bar Association's position?
Well, sitting here, I don't have anything to say about the position of the bar on this particular issue.
Has the bar executive not discussed this very important issue that many other organizations are discussing in the country? Have you not discussed it as an executive?
The president, Madam Tuma Adamajabi, was actually at the press briefing organized by the Ministry of Information, and he spoke to that subject. According to her, the processes have been followed by instituting a tribunal. Tribunal has actually looked into it.
So her presence at that conference was way before now the accountants, the body of professional accountants like you have, Bar Association, put together their release last Friday saying they conducted their own internal investigations, and as per their professional accounting standards, there was no professional misconduct perpetrated by Lara Taylor-Pierce and Tamba Momo. So that's new information. So
that's exactly what I'm saying. Since then, we have not discussed anything about this because, as I told you, the process is ongoing.
Is it because you don't consider it important enough to discuss?
Okay,
Or
from
you
a
find
personal
it that
note,
it's not your business
from a
as an
personal note,
association?
from a personal note, when I came back from the yearly training in Ghana, she was one person I actually selected as my mentor, even though she did not respond. But this was somebody I followed religiously, especially her documents and papers. These are things I followed. And I've equally closely followed this process from the tribunal and now to parliament. So basically, what I will say is that since the Attorney General has actually done the necessaries to send it to Parliament, it is now for Parliament to decide on what should be done in respect of Lara Taylor Pierce. And based on the composition of Parliament, it is so very possible that what we are imagining will not happen because of the composition. But basically speaking on that subject matter from an association point of view, maybe on another date after I would have spoken to the group of people, especially the president and other executive members, then I can tell you our position. But for now, what the president has spoken about over at the said conference is the only thing I can share with the public.
Already, members within the main opposition OPC, they've issued out a statement in regards to the same. They said, of course, they will vote against it. And similarly so, the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, our association, have come out very strong to condemn the act. Similarly so, BAN, which is a body, credible body that speaks to accountability in Sierra Leone. Don't you think these are some of the lacunas that keeps existing currently within the Sierra Leone Bar Association? It's 7 months since the association came, since the, of course, elections in Kenema. It will have been prudent for statements for an association that has been active over time.
That's very true. I will tell you it's true that we cannot be completely functional and we actually get things right all the time. No. As I've told you, since the president has discussed this issue at the said conference, she stated the position of the Sierra Leone Bar Association very clear at that conference. And since then, the Attorney General has done his job and sent whatever to Parliament. So it's now for Parliament to take the decision, and it's very brilliant. It's commendable on the part of BAN. It's commendable on the part of the Journalist Association and the other groups that have actually come out to say something about that. We wait to see what the outcome will be in Parliament.
Commander, we've had a lot of messages on our Facebook page. Let's see ways to go through same. First to mind is from Albert Lance, and I will say is, so now the Law Society has been formed without waiting for all go or clear. You saying that they are not recognized, can you kindly please ask him? Okay.
David Tambayo Jr. says the Bar Association was formed and didn't register. Not until later they registered it, but it was working full-time.
Swissman says, when the association will begin to speak with the same voice and when unity will overcome the evil in Sierra Leone, we are the smallest nation in the world, but we are the most selfish and wicked people that God has ever created.
Mosdi says, I think the process itself in the great Kenema city rocked the boat.
David, okay, I think you've got, David Tambayo says David Tambayo says the Bar Association was formed and they didn't, okay, I think you've just read that one, Fabian.
David Tambayo Jr. again says the election in Kenema was a disgrace to particularly Ben Kaifala.
Abdullah Saw says, good morning, AYV. I'm really impressed with the way the PRO is responding to the issues.
Mystic Prozac says, Alfred Commander, the third election in Kenema was controversial and full of many irregularities. It is sad when professional bodies like the Bar Association do such undemocratic activities that undermine our democratic values.
Mosdi says, wow, you can tell Commander is coming out punching, kicking, so basically the gloves are off.
Albert Lansana says, anyways, it's either they formed the society to complement the Bar Association or it's a breakaway from the Bar Association because of what went down in Kenema, wherein those who contested the elections didn't get their wishes.
Obakar Rashid says the formation of the Law Society of Sierra Leone is a good idea, and it should be like the organization, like other organizations, like the Medical and Dental Association, etc. I think the association should be devoid of politics, unlike the Sierra Leone Bar Association, which has now been captured by politics and full of political agendas. Those who have political motives should be weeded out. The Sierra Leone Bar Association is now a political outfit.
Mohammed El Jallo says, good morning, AYV. Talking about the SLBA and the way the conduct of their previous elections happened speaks volumes about our democracy as a nation. Believe it or not, the politicians and political parties in Sierra Leone, be it APC or SLPP, have a big hold on institutions like the Sierra Leone Bar Association and others. The reasons for this is because the Sierra Leoneans were all divided along political lines, and also we have seen past members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association end up becoming big party members of either of the two major political parties in the country and become members in government.
Mystic Dwazak says Alfred Kamanda, the said election in Kenema was controversial and full of many irregularities. It's so sad when professional bodies like the Bar Association doing such undemocratic activities that undermines our democratic values.
Abubakar Rashid says, Mr. Commander, as a legally minded person, are you saying that people or person belonging to a legal profession can go on to register an entity fictitious and with fake registration documents?
Itofori says Commander responding to questions has changed since his return from Ghana.
Mosby is asking you, is the Sierra Leone Bar Association being compromised by what looks like political interference?
Mohamed El Jallo says the current, good morning AYV, the current Sierra Leone Bar Association looks like an extension of the SLPP. The man is trying not to bite the finger that fits him.
Victor Fode says, Commander, oh, you read that already.
This one from Abubakar Rashid says, Black Leo RFM in a legal setting. What is this?
Mohammed Ramadan Icon Shombe says, how can the bar function wherein the two candidates belong to political parties?
Mosdi says, is the Sierra Leone Bar Association being compromised by what looks like political interference?
And finally, Abdullah Sow says, good morning, AYV. I'm really impressed with the way the PRO is responding to the issues.
Last one is from Abubakar Rashid. Says, please ask him if the Sierra Leone Bar Association is, okay.
Is jittery for the formation of the Sierra Leone Law Society.
So basically, no hand feeds me at all, and I've tried my very best as a young person to always hold governments accountable, and down to this moment, whether it's SLPP, it's APC, if you go on my social media pages, especially Facebook, you actually see me holding governments accountable. Of course, we've been trained in the same school with the likes of Augustine Soriseng Bemaya. We are members of the Radicals Club, and we know we have to put country first in all we do. So no hand is feeding me. I am basically trying to be as plain as possible, that in every association, we expect challenges. But now what makes the difference as leaders and association members is how you handle those challenges. How do you actually get fruits from the many challenges that you have? For example, somebody saw a problem moving from Freetown to Lunge. For many Sierra Leoneans, it's a problem. But what he saw was an opportunity to make money. So that's why I'm saying, even though the elections in Kenema had its own challenges, but it's presented so many opportunities for us as lawyers and even Sierra Leoneans. One thing I've mentioned clearly is that we need to learn, for example, from SLAJ, especially when it comes to elections. They have an election body and they have people managing that body long before the election day itself. You go back to recruitments, for example. SLAJ does not recruit on an automatic basis based on what I've been following. People actually apply and then you go through a certain process and then you're admitted into, So it doesn't mean because you're a journalist, automatically you become a member of SLAJ. So these are things we need to learn maybe as a bar association. For example, it's actually in the M&A of the Sierra Leone Bar Association that people need to apply to be members of the bar. But in my case, for example, as peer of the bar, I've been a member of the bar for the past 7 years. I actually did not apply for.
And it shows that you are eligible to be a part of that association.
So I have not seen anybody apply to be a member.
Right.
So basically, you had just after graduation from the bar school, the law school, you actually have a program wherein you are invited. They organize like a social evening for you guys, welcome you to the Sierra Leone Bar Association. So you miss a number of those things you actually need to correct. Like maybe take your time, look at the person, see whether he's a fit and proper person to be part of the Sierra Leone Bar. He can be a lawyer, but still not fit and proper to be part of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And the elections itself. It's like, how can we go to the hall on the same day and then you say nominate a senior member to be the electoral commissioner? Of course, if I'm the senior member nominated and seconded and I have to conduct the elections, you say a senior member. So the problem starts right there. So what do we do as an association? You've been looking at this problem right through. Augustine Sori Sengbe Mara, for example, you've been part of this association all these years. You've seen this as a problem, but maybe you did not identify it then. Now it came to your own time to be elected, and then this same problem resurfaced. Now, what do? Are you going to shy away from the problem? Are you going to rock the entire boat, go establish your own organization and think you're not going to have challenges along the way? No. There will always be challenges. Let's come together as lawyers and then work together as a team. I've told you we have no issues. Basically, like if these lawyers actually want to complement the efforts of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. They are not here like an alternative group, a rival group. No. If they are here to complement the activities of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, then that's a brilliant idea. We'll always embrace them. We'll always celebrate them. So we have no issues, but one of the things we actually need to remind is that you guys are lawyers. Regularize your registration process. The registration process is fraught.
You seem to be drinking Panadol for another man's headache.
No, of course. They are members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And that is having a ripple effect on the association. These are lawyers there. Now you listen to some of the messages that came in. Lawyers actually going to register an organization and it's fraught in...
And they seem to have a majority of the number of lawyers inside following them. They seem to have won the younger folks.
That's a sweeping statement. If you say the majority, it's a sweeping statement. They seem to have won because you've done no research to confirm that
you yourself know it's
no, I don't. I truly don't, because I will tell you, when we went to the hall, we had our own voters, and that particular group of people remain members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. Okay. And those who are also part of this society have told you they are members of the Saloon Bar Association. So if you put both numbers together, you know very well we are in the majority.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
This morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Public
very much.
Relations Officer for the Sierra Leone Bar Association, and he's been talking to us this morning on their position on the Law Society, the newly formed Law Society.